Greetings from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Welcome back to the Crow's Nest. Enjoying a diesel unholy cocktail this evening with some lemonade, of course. It's a little too windy up here to be smoking a pipe tonight. I tried, and between the hard to light it and the fact that it just burnt so hot from the breeze, I just couldn't do it. The cob I tried to burn earlier, it got so hot I could barely touch the cob, so I just thought, no, it's not worth it. So went back to a cigar for tonight. That is the one and only downfall of the Crow's Nest, folks. Is up here we got nothing in the way. There's no trees in the immediate area to block any wind. There's no buildings to block any wind. It's just a straight wind tunnel. Jim, you were looking for a wind tunnel? I got one for you, buddy. Bring her on up here to the Crow's Nest. So today on our Sunday chat, we're going to discuss childhood toys. You know, I get it that video games are a lot of fun because I loved the Wii. You know, Mario Kart and stuff like that, and bowling, and all the cool old school Atari games that they put on there, and all those, you know, war games and stuff. I get it. But kids younger need to get out and play. Now, the downside to that is it's not like it was back then when we were kids. You can't just let your kids roam around at, 9, 10 years old riding a bike around town because there's just too many crazy lunatics out there. But we had some really cool toys, man. We had some cool toys. Lawn darts. There's one for you that sent many kids to the emergency room. We used to chuck those things up, and they had metal ends. And boy, I'll tell you what, if you got in the way of one of them rascals, it hurt. Let's see, what else? Darts. My one buddy had a tree fort. And we got up there one day, and we were arguing, and it was going back and forth, and he pushed me, so I pushed him back, except he was sitting on the bench seat on the end of the, facing the outside of the tree, and right over the seat he went and onto the ground. He fell like 10 or 15 feet. And of course, we were kids, so we were just like, ha ha ha. We thought it was funny. He got up crying and went home, and, his mom came down and seen me and beat my backside. And rightfully so, folks. Rightfully so. And that was allowed back then. The tops, they were one of my favorites. Big, huge, honking tops. And you would do this with it, and it would spin and spin and spin. And you'd let go of it, and that thing would just sit there and just go round and round and round. It was pretty cool. Big wheels. Boy, let me tell you something. That thing was a death machine for children. Good knit. I got cranking on one of them one time, and I hit a big rock because I wasn't paying attention, and my back wheel stuck out further on a big wheel. Mine was Incredible Hulk big wheel, by the way. And that thing tipped up, and it's got 3 wheels, so, you're going to go. And once that pedal dug into the pavement, off I went. Road rash up my palms, up my forearms. My knees were all skiffed up, and, you cry, and you just figure out either you're going to walk back to the house or you're going to get back on your big wheel and ride back home. So one or the other. And, you know, my mom certainly didn't have any mercy when it came to stuff like that. You know, she would pour iodine on my cuts after she cleaned them out with rubbing alcohol. And I mean, I would scream, and she would tell me, walk it off, you know. And that's just the way it was. And, you know, you would do this, you know, you'd fan it and try to cool it off. It never worked. But big wheels were always a big thing for us. What else was there? Oh, man. Our Tonka trucks were awesome. All metal. Made in the USA. Hardcore. Now they're more expensive, and they're made of Chinese plastic with a little bit of metal on them. It's ridiculous. Matchbox cars were really cool back then. They were a lot more durable than they are now. I remember having to beat mine with a hammer several times to make it look good enough to where I could play with it, as in if it was in a crash and the fire department and the ambulance had to come, you know. So I guess ever since a kid I was meant to be a fireman, I reckon. But they were always really cool too. But nowadays, man, these kids just don't go out and play. Now, I get it. Don't get it twisted. You know, I get it that you can't let your kids play out there like we did back when we were kids. We would play out in the yard. We'd go to a different kid's house every day for lunch, and then we would drink out of the hoses. And we had to check in with our parents when the street lights came on. And then we had to come back and let them know what yard we were going to be in to play. And then most of the time at 10 o'clock when the news came on, they would always do it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? And that's usually when one of my parents would get up and come out, and they would go to that parent's house where we were playing and yell for us. So, but yeah, these kids nowadays, man, they just don't know what it's like to be, let alone the playground equipment, man. Shoo-wee. Playground equipment was mad. The merry-go-round, we used to get that thing spinning so hard, either somebody would throw up off the side of it, or somebody would go flying off of it, or half off of it, and they would skip their heads across the ground. That was fun. And then you got all these kids trying to stop it. Oh, it was a disaster. A disaster. Or there'd always be that one kid that would try to jump off of it because they suddenly felt unsafe. It's like, it's spinning. Don't get up. Just ask us to stop it. And they would try to jump off of it. Well, that always ended in disaster. That always ended up in somebody getting their hands and legs and arms all scraped up. Because back then we didn't have these safety things to where the playgrounds are covered in shredded up rubber tires or sawdust. They were stone pebbles. So when you got skimmed up, man, your parents had to use tweezers to pull out all the stones out of your cuts. So, yeah, it was no fun. But it was a good time to be had by all. We survived. Sometimes how, I'll never know, but we survived. Then you had the metal monkey bars. They were usually like in a big like igloo shaped, and it was just all metal bars that were attached. Kids would try to hang from their feet, and they would lose their grip and fall and bust their heads open, or fight would break out in the middle of it. And, oh, it was just a disaster. They were just, and then you had the ultimate death trap. the metal sliding boards. If you didn't get brush burn from the hot metal, you got burnt from the hot metal. Oh my word, those things were awful. And everything on them was metal. The metal poles that held it up were all metal. The ladders were metal. They looked like bike pedals. They had that bumps in it. And it was just, yeah. It was a sure trip to the emergency room for sure. Not today's society, folks. Well, that's it for today. I hope you guys are all doing well and enjoying your weekend. I guess we will catch up with you soon. I have a VR to do for St. David's Pipes. If you haven't done your VR for St. David's Pipe, check out his video. His questions are, what's your favorite pipe tobacco and what's your least favorite pipe tobacco? So they were pretty easy for me, actually. I pretty much knew my answers right away. So it's just a matter of me putting it together, I reckon. All right, folks. So until we can get together and pack a pipe or smoke that great cigar, let all that you do be done in love. Y'all take care and God bless.